this demo, I'll be showing you how to perform repetition in your programs using the loop statement. So when you want to repeat a task multiple times, the loop statement is one option. By default, the loop statement loops forever until you manually break out of it based on some condition. So let's create a simple loop statement that prints out a message. So here we have the loop keyword, followed by open and close curly braces, and the body of the loop has a single statement, which is print line. If I were to run this program, it would just print out hello forever and ever and ever. However, we don't really want that in this case. We want to break out at some point. In order to do that, we use a break statement. So if we include a break statement, the loop will begin executing. We'll get a print line one time. A break will be encountered. Then it will break out of the loop and the program will end. Let's run it and give it a try. As you can see, it printed out hello one time. I'm going to modify this program so it prints out a countdown and then prints done when the countdown is completed. To do that, we'll first need a mutable variable. So I'm going to create a mutable variable called I, and I'll set it equal to 3, or countdown starting from 3. So remember, a mutable variable is one that can be modified at a later date. We'll need that in the loop. Within the loop, we'll print out the value of this variable. To do so, we use the special token for the print line macro, which will allow me to print out the value of any variable as indicated here. So in the first iteration, I will be equal to 3, and then this will print out 3 since I is 3. Next, we will decrement the value of I. That way it acts as a countdown. So I equals I minus 1. All we're doing here is we're taking the current value of I, which on the first iteration is 3. We're subtracting 1. 1 minus 3 is 2. And that will be placed into I. Next, we need to check to see if I is equal to 0. In this program, we want the countdown to display 3, 2, 1, and then done when it's completed. So we don't want it to display 0. So if I is equal to 0, that is when we will perform our break. After this break statement is encountered, it will break out of the loop and proceed down to this line. So this is where we will add our print line statement that indicates the program is done. So let's go down here and we'll print line done. Before we run this program, let's walk through it real quick. First, we're creating a mutable variable with the value of 3. So we have a mutable I set to an initial value of 3. We then create a loop, and within that loop, we have a block of statements that will be executed on each iteration of the loop. Immediately, the value of I will be printed because we're using this special token for print line. In the first iteration, I is 3, so 3 will be printed. I will then be reassigned to 2 because we're taking 3 minus 1, which is equal to 2. We then check, is I equal to 0? In the first iteration of the loop, I will be 2. This will not execute since I is not equal to 0. We then will return back to the beginning of the loop and repeat the process. On the next iteration, I will be set to 1. I is still not equal to 0. So then we continue again. In the next iteration, the value will be 0. And then this will be true, and we will break. After we break, we exit out of the loop, and then this print line will be executed, and done should be displayed on the terminal. So let's run it and see what happens. To run, go up to Terminal, click on New Terminal, and I'm going to run it with cargo run-q. As we can see, we have 3, 2, 1, and then done. This concludes the demonstration on the loop keyword for the Rust programming language. I'll see you in the next presentation.